topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause, we doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Woo! Yeah. Yeah. What you call it? What you call it you doing?
What's up?
It is Monday. Yeah. It's Monday. Man Talk Mondays. We are in here. We're in here. How you doing, man?
Man, I am good, man. Glad to be back. Ready for another show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I feel you. Well, I'm Derek, the thought engineer. This is my man, comedian John Yoge. And we here with Man Talk Mondays, right?
Yes, we are, sir.
Some of you may have just be joining in and you wonder, what is Man Talk Mondays? Your first time catching us, right? Well, Man Talk Mondays is an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships, everything between, but we're doing it from a man's perspective. Now, this is not just for men. We want everybody to participate. Men, women, boys, girls, everybody join in. Now, you can be part of the conversation, right? We want you to talk to us. Now, how you can do this, you simply go into the comments. You can drop your comment, drop your question. We can see this, right? By all means, we want you to be a part of this conversation. So as we're talking, you can talk to us. We invite you to talk to us, right? So before we get into anything else, without further ado, Man Talk Monday News.
This is Man Talk Monday News with your host, John D. Blackman. And today's top story is, can you remember the last time you did something good for your man? Think about it, ladies. When was the last time you just did something good for your man? Let me think, because I know most women are thinking, you know, girl, I can't even remember. Oh, it was our anniversary. Oh, it was his birthday. Oh, it was when we bought me something. Well, I tell you what, why don't you today'll be Get Freaky Mondays. Go in there and do something good to your husband today. We're going to do this every Monday to try to start a tradition. And I know y'all going to come up with an excuse, so we're just going to do it on today. This is the Man Talk Monday News with your man, John D. Blackman. And let's get in there.
Oh, John, on one today, huh?
Hey, get in there.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Anthony Burns? How you doing, man? Good to have you with us tonight.
What up?
Miss Abigail, she laughing. She cracking up. My Get Freaky day. Hey, once again, we just want to say thank you guys for just showing up week after week, being with us, tripping out with us, talking about the things we talk about. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We just want to make sure you guys know that, right? So now, typically, we do our segment, Man Talk About It. So now, in order to do this, we need letters. We know y'all go through stuff. We know y'all got stuff that you want to talk about. Like I say, we keep it completely anonymous. We don't get into, nobody's, no names or anything like that. But your situation could help somebody else. So if you got something you're going through, you just want our opinion about it, you want us to kind of talk about it, send a letter to the email at the bottom of the screen, mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. Send a letter and we'll put the letter on the show. We'll let you know so you'll know that we're going to talk about it. But we'll keep everything anonymous to the public. You don't have to worry about nobody knowing all your business and the stuff you got going on.
And D, one last thing. At the end of the month, we'll be giving $500 to the person that has the best letter. we give y'all the money.
It's coming out of Yogi's account. And I just want to be in the room. He had a conversation with his wife. I just want to be there.
Big ass got about this big.
Don't break up a happy home, man. Don't break up a happy home. That's all I'm saying.
That's funny.
So send us your letters, mantalkmondays1@gmail.com, and be more than happy to share your situation. Abigail, to my $500, I'm all in. I'm already talking about writing a letter right now. I know you are writing a letter right now.
Hey,
I'm writing it myself. Hey, good evening, Rod. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
What's going on, Rod? Right now, we brothers deep tonight, man.
Oh yeah, fellas showing up tonight, man. Appreciate that. They must have got a hint of what we talking about tonight.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Cause we're going in tonight, y'all.
We're going in no holds barred. It's uncut.
Oh, I didn't say that. I just said
We're gonna keep it PG 13, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
From VA, from all the way from Virginia, man. Hope you're doing well out there.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, Mr. Love Sync, Mr. Dyro, thank you. The best letter is the letter D. Give me my 500. Boy, you just started something. Like I said, it's coming out of John's account.
This when you think people ain't paying you no attention.
Oh, they listen.
For money. Brave for money.
They listening. So we know how to get y'all to write in now.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So we're talking about tonight. Do women mature faster than men? Do they really mature faster than men? That's the question we asking tonight. We're going into tonight. Now, typically the context that we're talking about this is typically dealing with relationships. That's the typical context when you talk about maturity. Why do people tend to go there first when you mention maturity? Why do relationships seem to be the thing when you mention maturity?
Because most of the time when men in their 20s, they're running through them. Now, let me say this. They're running through them, but they have to have somebody to run through.
Oh.
So
Wesley went Bishop Bullwinkle on them. Jeffrey says they mature faster physically. Okay.
They do. I'm gonna give them that.
Okay. So women mature faster physically. Now, I've heard what science has said about the maturity of women faster than men, or females faster than males. And when I look at it, they talk about really how women become more what we call social, meaning their social awareness and everything kicks in. They're more they fit into a social setting seemingly more than a young man does, than a boy does. That's what I was getting from the stuff I was looking at. And I'm thinking about it because they talk about, men are, the aggressiveness of men and all this kind of stuff. And men don't typically kind of settle themselves down until they get into their late 30s, early 40s. But women tend to around their 20s.
Women tend to what around their 20s?
They tend to settle down a little bit more. You don't think that's true?
Women just finer in their 20s. That's about it.
Abigail says, my daughter says yes. Why? Because difference in her age group. But definitely in her age group, she said the boys don't use their heads. They use their penis. LOL. Now she has a point. People always say, men don't think with this head, they think with the other one, and like Selena saying right now, they think with the other head. Now, does that mean there's something wrong with men, though?
No.
Okay.
I just don't think men are ready to settle down. I don't think they're ready to settle down as fast as women are. It's funny because when you young, as a young man, you're trying to figure things out, and relationships commonly are one of the things that you're also trying to figure out. You see, I think the misconception is people think because men run through a lot of women when they're younger, that means they're not ready for a relationship. I just think they hadn't ran through the right person yet. Because when you come across a lady at 25, 26, you're going to know, whoa. This right here might be something.
Yeah, he didn't catch what he said. He said they hadn't ran through the right woman. I get what you said. They hadn't come across the right woman yet. I get what you said.
You can't be on every word. You can't be on every word, man.
I'm listening. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to listen. What do y'all think? Do you think women really mature faster than men? Now, we understand the whole physical thing. Women's prefrontal cortex. This is the part that you typically think with, where your thought processing goes. This develops faster in females than it does males. Now, so women have greater thinking capacity quicker than men do. But on the flip side of that, men we ain't really trying to think about a whole lot until later on anyway. So
okay. What do men normally what do men have that they could brag about when they in their early 20s? Just throw them out. Anybody listening, please tell me. Generally, what do men have to brag about when they're in their early 20s? I'm gonna sit here and just.
Selena says sex, and no, she's absolutely right. Because sex, cars, but think about it. we seem to be stuck in one place. But think about that. Think about what you guys are saying, though. Rod said Jordans. What does all of that have to do with? It's this when we think about relationships, the cars, the Jordans. It's all about making myself attractive, but for what cause? Why am I trying to make myself so attractive in my 20s? Selena say men's brains do not develop until later adolescence, around 23 to 25. No thought process. Now, let me say this, because she's right. I will say this. Selena is right in what she's saying. Men, all of this develops later. I think it's for a reason, though. Men are destructive by nature, or we're aggressive by nature because we have to push and shove to make our way in this world.
Wow.
So we don't, if we think too much and we get into this mode, that's why older men get into this thing where they chill, they settle in. But younger guys, it's like, you're like, why are they doing this? That's so stupid. Because they have this thing to where they're reckless. Recklessness has its place when you're young, if you use it right. Because sometimes you can't worry about what people gonna think, what they're gonna say. You just got to be reckless and, go ahead and push for what you want. But when you fighting for a position in society, in the world, now it takes some aggression to actually kind of push the envelope.
And also, man, I think when you coming from that stage of being a young man or two, man, it's a lot that goes on in between those periods, man. It's a lot that goes on. Your way of thinking, your way of doing things, your way of carrying yourself. You're trying to figure out who you're going to be, what type of person you're going to be. And people think, I think for the most part, that you know this by the time you're 17 to 18. And that's just so untrue. It's just because there's so much growing that goes on between 18 and 25. There's just
a whole lot.
And I think, but now let me say this. I think women also have a lot of growing that they do between 18 and 25 as well. It's a lot easier to say that men are not as responsible when all a woman is basically doing is waiting for a man to come find her. She don't really have nothing to get ready for. As much as she does, she doesn't. She's just trying to figure out how to be a wife. And for the most part, they don't know that until they get married.
Selena said if women mature younger, bust the windows out your car wouldn't have been a hit. Now, brings up a great point. Because I think we get confused. We look at physical maturity and the development of the brain and the whole nine, but that does not equate to relationship maturity. It's not the same thing.
There you go. And see, and women try to make it like because they mature earlier, we're ready for relationships. And I go back to this, man. Listen, the men in the 20s that are running through women, generally they're running through women in their 20s. Generally, they're running through women in their 20s. So if women are that much more mature than guys, how do they keep getting ran through? Please, somebody explain that to me.
Abigail agrees with you. Said John is 100. But let me tell you this. I'm listening to Ross say emotional maturity. I don't even think they mature emotionally like we think. So I'm listening to a psychologist, and he was saying how women, when it comes to relationships, their prime time to secure a mate is in their 20s. So they settle into relationship thinking in their 20s while their assets are still intact for them to attract.
And they're high.
And men don't until typically their late 30s. 35 is when they typically hit that point where they're not out trying to conquer so much, but rather settling into life.
And trying to get that bag. We're trying to get the bag. We're trying to present ourselves at our highest point. And where women are at their high, you will never be high. Your point will never be higher than it was when you was in your 20s, baby.
It's all downhill from here. No. Monique says because they're going to different women. What you mean by just going to different women? Clarify that, Monique. I want to know.
What always got to come over here as a savior for the women. She always, Monique, you gone with that now. You gone because you know we telling the truth. When you come over here with that, I'm going to say to women myself, no, you are not, ma'am. No, you are not.
But, I mean, when you look at it, I get the whole physical thing, but I just don't think when it comes to actually handling and maintaining a relationship, I don't think women mature faster than men. I don't even know if it's a necessarily a thing of male versus female.
I don't either. I think it's a level of it's okay. What you go through in life moves you to different areas of your life. If I'm with somebody, and we kind of digging each other and we kind of hitting it off, there is nothing to say who will start catching feelings first. It's a coin toss. It just depends on where she's at in her life and what she wants, the same as it does me. Because if I catch feelings and I say, hey, listen, I think it's time for us to take this. Whoa. You knew what this was when we got in it. Listen, I'm not ready for that right now. I'm trying to build my career. I'm trying to be the first woman to do this and the last woman in the kitchen. So, you know what this was? Now my heart broke. So now I'm out here now trying to find, or it's gonna go one of two ways, D. Either I'm finna take it out on the rest of the women, or I'm finna chill. But most of the time we take it out on the other women.
Yeah.
I'm sure women do the same.
I'm sure they do too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know if you disagree. You can debate John right here on Man Talk Mondays.
I know Monique ain't gonna come over here and say nothing. I'm saying, listen. I just think people are in different places at different times. You can't. There ain't no way to really tell who's gonna be where. See,
Abigail agree with you. She feeling you. She said, "Lord, preach, John. I want to high five you on this." So
I bet. Hey, I don't get these often, so I better take them.
You better cherish them. Lynn says, women mature faster on the area of relationships, emotional maturity, because we are taught that in adolescence. Men are taught how to be a player or get the car, clothes, Jay's career. I get what she's saying, but then I don't.
Well, see, Selena gonna need to verify that, because we talk to get all that stuff because we want women. I wanted a Nissan with a 300, and I was gonna get funky on the back of it because I wanted them to know it was gonna be staking up in there, baby.
You said funky on the back.
Go ahead.
I get what. I don't think they mature emotionally though. I don't believe that. I think they're more emotional, but they're not emotionally mature.
Can you say that one more time for the people in the back?
I think they are emotional, but not emotionally mature. Well, I would say they're more willing to express their emotions than a man, but that doesn't mean that they're emotionally mature. Selena said, agree, John. It has to do with what or how we're taught. Anthony says, gotta disagree, sis. Okay, so we got some debate going on with the people in the comments. All right. So Anthony, tell us why you disagree. All right. Monique says, John, how is that being mature? I guess you're talking about trying to pursue things to get women. All right. Monique says, so true. We are at home in the hold on. Time out. Y'all where?
You boy, if you don't.
All right, let me just read. So true. We are at home in the kitchen. I can barely get through this. So true. We are at home in the kitchen with our moms and learning how to take care of the family while the guys are just being boys and playing their video games and learning how to get girls. No, we are not. I'll say this. If you came up with a single mother, that was not what you were taught. Mm-hmm. You were taught to behave yourself. And really, for guys, this is detrimental. Rod says, all right. So I heard a psychologist says, when it comes to your son, you want to teach your son to be a monster. Teach him how to be an absolute monster, and then teach him how to control it.
Oh, wow.
He says, because You don't want to be agreeable on everything if you don't agree. If you disagree, you want to feel like you can say it. Doesn't mean you have to be off-putting or rude, but you don't want to feel like you're getting run over. And you got to let people know that you're there, you're present, and to acknowledge you. And it takes a certain aggression to do so, because people will just run, they just do what they want to do.
And just let me say this, sir. Don't nobody run over you like a woman.
Oh.
You can make that man to be, if that man don't have a backbone, I have seen women in cars drive back up to run over that man again.
Literally. Ryan says some women are guided solely by their feelings, where men are guided by logic. He's right. Here's the thing. Right. But there is a balance with that. Too many feelings is a problem, but too much logic is a problem too.
That's true.
So maturity comes when you understand the balance and you know how to maneuver based on that. That's where maturity comes in. Abigail says, I have to disagree with Selena. This is not.
Wait.
He is clapping over here. What is going on tonight?
Right. Okay, go ahead.
I have to disagree with Selena. This is not all true for all women at all. I think a lot of females have trust issues. Therefore, they have this wall they have built. Emotionally, we're driven to that. And most of the time, we go from 0 to 100. But most men are more calm and collected. I think a lot of it depends on the situation. Okay. All right. So Selena says, those with trust issues, Abigail, have not been taught. They gain these issues simply by observing what has been modeled for them or what they have been exposed to.
Okay, wait. So you trying to tell me, Selena, that if a guy that you was playing with cheated on you, you mean to tell me you're not gonna drag that into the relationship you're trying to have with somebody else? Because you're not gonna try. How can you not? Especially if you wanted more out of that relationship than he was willing to give you. They are gonna drag that stuff like most people do. See, that's the problem with relationships. People drag stuff from stuff they shouldn't be dragging into their relationship. That's how you can tell whether or not you're really ready to be married or with somebody or not. It's what the baggage that you bring in. And women got too much baggage anyway.
Well, you feel a little lighter now? Got off your chest?
Hey man, listen. That's why, and see that most women get on here and say, "Oh man, we ready? We most ready." Nah, y'all not. Cause y'all everybody drags something into it. Everybody drags something they shouldn't be dragging into something else. When the relationship gets more serious as you get more serious.
You're right. Laura says, I think sometimes it's the upbringing. Who raised you? Did you have to take care of younger siblings, etc.? Some people are just ready for commitments earlier, unless you resented that life. And now you're going a complete opposite way. You don't want no responsibility because all you've known in your life is responsibility. And you are a hot mess because you turned up on 100 because you didn't like all that responsibility that was put on you too soon.
And normally after you turned up on 100 and got some things to carry with you now that called cheering, then you all come to yourself then. But most of the time, you so ready to get out of the house and get out from under baby and Ray that it's about turn. Where is the party at? It ain't a party. It's gonna be a party right now.
Right. Rod says some women are guided. So I think it was guided solely by their feelings. I understand the whole thing of being guided by feelings. I get it. The problem is when feelings get in the way. When you can't be rational because of your feelings. When you can't be reasonable because of your feelings.
But the guys are guided by their feelings as well. We're not guided by as much logic as we want to say we are. we generally go with the person that makes us feel good. We generally run behind. We catch feelings just like women do. We just don't talk about it. It's faux pas to talk about it. So now I seen it one time, but then it came back up again. I'm saying, we catch feelings too.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We catch feelings, and we don't do real processing them. A lot of times, men don't. Abigail says we jump to conclusions that all men do all this. It's because of the history or background we went through as females.
See, Abigail, you know what? Do you know what?
All right. So here's my thing though. If this has been a track record of you having bad relationship after bad relationship when it comes to men, at what point do we stop and saying men are the problem to say, you know what, I need to reevaluate some things?
And see, D, we don't give enough credit to us being dummies. Every time
clarify that.
Every time we made a fool of by somebody else, we ain't had nothing to do with it. Oh, they just did me so wrong. Because remember, we telling the story. And when you telling the story, normally you are a victim or the hero. Either you saving somebody or somebody done dogged you. One of the two. Generally, we're not going to tell the truth in that. Generally, we're not going to say, you know what, I was stupid. Man, I knew. She kept telling me she was her. People telling me she was there. I knew it, man, but it was just something about it. And we all know what it was when we say it was something about her. Come on, man. We got to start being honest.
You're right. Let's get Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, from what I see, women seem to play the definition of insanity. By that, she has a type that's completely destructive. That guy will do her dirty, get her pregnant and leave, spend her money, eat the baby snacks, and so on. Still leave that guy and get with the same type of guy in the same situation again until she's 35 to 40 with 3 or 4 baby daddies. Then she'll wait for a good dude that she won't respect or validate where she's at in the moment. Russell Wilson and Sierra. As a man, we tend.
Yes,
wow. So Jeffrey going in on him. Jeffrey ain't playing with y'all tonight. All right. Let me say kind of what Jeffrey's talking about. All right. Because this has become a recent irritation of mine where women say, I want a good man. In the words of my wife, lies. Lie. No, you don't. Why? Because once you get the good man, he's agreeable. He does things like you want him to. And then you realize you really don't want that. And then you go and grab Ray with his knucklehead behind, who got about 4 or 5 kids with 4 or 5 baby mamas, and you go and fool around with Ray. What have you just taught that good man? You have punished him for being good. So what does he learn? This gets me nowhere. Now you don't end up paying for it, but the next woman does.
Okay, but let me say this, D. What qualifies, ladies? Answer me this. What qualifies as a good man? Because I know what men think good men are. Perhaps our definition is off a little bit. What qualifies for a good man? What qualifies for as a good man to women? Because I know what we think.
That's a great question. Y'all hit us up. Let us know. What do you define? How do you define a good man? Monique said it's a known fact that most men do not allow time for healing. And in essence, treat the one they claim they love like trash. Hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Anthony says, I don't feel like we as men are raised to be players unless we have the wrong upbringing. My sons are taught education is first and relationships and girls come later. A real man can't take care of a real relationship if he isn't established and doesn't have his own stuff together. Good meat, for a lack of a better term, only lasts for so long. Real men don't want to jump into a relationship that they can't sustain because they are slacking on their pimping. Do you know what the motto is? I do remember the motto. Hold on. Because here's another thing Anthony said. He said, you focus on education, everything, but what is this doing? This is getting you in position so that you can have leverage in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to have so much stuff as a man? Because will you respect me if I don't have it?
No.
Why?
Because remember, man, listen, we trying to get the bag. We're trying to get the bag for them, so that we can so that they can respect us and be able to brag about us. Because everybody wants somebody they can brag on or brag about. With men, most of the time, it's, oh boy, you should have seen this one I met the other day. Man, she this. I think she might be Miss Right. And I think women, girl, you should have seen this guy the other day. Girl, he got a 401k. Girl, he got a nice car. He got this. He got that. Everybody wants something they can brag about. Now, we may not admit this, but this is true of our relationships. All of them.
So Abigail says, let's just say as a child, you were raped. No, let's not say that. Okay. So the older you will have these issues trusting men in general. Does that mean you're not mature? No, absolutely not. But you have some internal issues. Now, rape is an extreme case. All right.
Yeah.
Rod says we catch feelings. Yes. But how many men stay with a woman because we feel she will be better with money, or we feel she's going to stop cheating, or we feel she'll stop being abusive? Wow. Let me go back to Abigail real quick. Go back to Abigail. So when you talking about somebody who has violated somebody physically, emotionally, mentally, that's a whole different set of problems. You need some counseling. You need somebody to help you manage that, because it will absolutely get in the way of things up the road. But you take an assessment knowing that you've gone through something traumatic. That's a traumatic experience. You need somebody to help you through that. But we're talking about on a regular spectrum of people. That's an extreme case. And anybody who's gone through that, listen, my heart goes out to you. Mm-hmm. And please, before you get into relationships, do something to bring some healing first. Get with a counselor, do something to bring some healing first before you go up that road.
Yeah.
Now look at what Rod says. Listen, and because Rod brought out some things, and here's the thing that people don't understand. I was listening to something today, and they talked about how nurses were not giving Black people as much pain medicine as they would give other people, because there's a perception in the medical community that Black people have a higher tolerance of pain than other people do. They say, why are you talking about that? Because this is what I'm saying. I feel like that perception is because we haven't been allowed to express our pain. To let you know, we haven't had the luxury of expressing our pain because we have so much to shoulder. Taking a moment to sit and really dig into that pain and cry about it, we don't have that. We didn't have that luxury. I'm saying this because men carry a lot. and we don't have the luxury of expressing the pain that we feel and the pain that we go through. So the perception is we don't hurt as much as we do, and we really hurt. We may process it different, but we really hurt. Cheating is as big of a deal for us as it is for y'all.
Yeah.
It's as big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Rod says logically, we know that that likely won't change. So logically, women move on. Even our feelings are based on what's logically good for us.
What
you got? What you got?
Still got that snap crackling and that. God, listen, man. I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. Most of the time, we are shallow. As people, as men and women, we're shallow a lot of the times. And both of us are led by stuff that we probably shouldn't be more times than not. I'm just say that if we are not as logical as we want to make ourselves out to be. Most of the time, we forced into that logic because we tired of being either at home by ourselves. This ain't working out, or I can't get a hold. Most of the time, we forced into relationships because think about this: the people now, they're not relationship driven. They're not relationship. What is relationship driven? Oh, we just want to see if things kind of work out. What is that? That is garbage.
So look at Abigail. She says, see, that's the thing. Females has this list of what a man should be, when in reality, there isn't one. Relationship is work, period. That's what makes it perfect in the long run. I absolutely agree. Most people who are looking for relationship advice, most people who are looking for somebody help me with my relationship, they're saying, how do I do this problem free? There is no such thing.
Well, and not only that, D, but they also thinking, I want this perfect man this way for me. Because remember, perfection for me is going to be different from you, and the same with men and women. Mm-hmm. Well, because you ever seen a guy that was with somebody and it was horrible, and as soon as he get with somebody else, it's bliss? That's because people are different. And oftentimes we just, and again, I still want to know what's the perfect man.
Okay, so Laura says honest, respectful, hardworking, protector, provider. I will say this, Laura. That sounds good off the top. Anthony said exactly, respect. Honesty. Can he be as honest as he needs to be?
No. No.
As he needs to be. I'm not saying as you want him to be. I say as he needs to be. Respect goes without saying.
Yes.
What was the other one she said? I can't remember. What was it? Hardworking, absolutely. Protector and provider. Are you gonna fight him on it?
As soon as he go the way shit. Let me tell you something. You can get that, but it's gonna be something in there that's gonna trouble you. See, because what we love people for is what we want to choke them out for. If he is a great provider and he always, yeah, baby, about this, it's gonna make you want to choke him out. So you gotta listen to. I'm trying to tell you,
right.
What you love, what you asking for will be the stuff that make you want to put that pillow over his face. I'm telling you. So you got. Listen. I'm telling you, you got to be careful of what you asking for, because all that stuff sound real good on the application, but when you get him, he don't have no personality. He not fun. He want to stay at home. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, but I thought all that stuff was a given. No, it's not. It's not. You assuming that it is, but it's not.
So Jeffrey says, I'm Charlotte and Wesley's older brother. This is a personal thing. I know my niece and nephew, Charlotte and Wesley, this is their older brother. The fact that women still find somebody like our dad attractive, and trust me, you would have to know the history on this to see where this brother coming from. The fact that women still find somebody like our dad attractive after all the kids and everything he's done says it all. The one lady spoke about men not getting over being hurt, but we don't run to the female equivalent of Michael Caldwell when we're hurt. Wow. Okay. Let me y'all a little background. All right, Michael Caldwell. He put the name out there. He's a troubled man, and his trouble got a lot of women in trouble. I'll put it that way. And Jeffrey, Charlotte, and Wesley are the results. Now, here's the thing. If you're here, it's by design. It's not because he decided or your mama decided, God decided. You were supposed to be here. So, world is a better place because you're here if you're handling life right. But he's got a point. If you have somebody who is a high profile dog, as women like to call them, but yet and still, like he says, women are still running after him. Still. So that's what he's saying. How is that even logical? How does that even factor into reason? Monique says there is no perfect man, just like it's no woman, right? No perfect man, no perfect woman. Not on a ideal, but for you, what's the perfect person for you? And I think when we think perfection, we think what's going to be the easiest for me. Laura says, of course, nobody is perfect, but those are important to me. Oh, no, absolutely. Give and take a little. I understand exactly what you're saying. Ross says, I know plenty of garbage guys who portray all of those things at home. Wow. So he's
Wait. They providing, they're taking care of it, they're doing all that stuff. But why are they not as attractive as the guy that make the same amount of money, but he drives a nicer car and he got debt over his head like this?
I think when people get more into the later life, where life means more, the decisions cost, the higher cost of decision making is different. I think people start to focus because your values change. Your values change. It don't mean so much that he got a six pack than if he got a 401k. It don't mean as much if he has J's on, whether he has actual health insurance on his job.
Well, I think when you're younger, like you're saying, that stuff don't, I don't know, nobody in 20s talking about, oh, girl, I got a 401k in my job, girl. I get a bit of money. I don't hear nobody talking about that. The 401k talking about, girl, what time we get out? We're going to hit this club. Oh, girl, it's happy hour. Girl, they got them wings. It's banging. Girl, I'm about to be up in there tonight. And girl, I got this new thing that's going to show this and that. Because we think we'll be in our 20s actually a lot longer than we actually will. Because them boogers, you're gonna take a nap and you're gonna wake up and be 30 something.
Right. That's
real.
That's why I tell people the trick, not the trick, but the key to youth is to get through it, get to your older age with as little regrets as possible. You want to be able to look back in your life and say, I'm proud of those decisions I made. Because if you, in your 20s, you get a good job, you start investing, then when you get older, now you're like, I'm glad I made it, right? It wasn't popular at the time because everybody wanted to kind of do their thing, party, all this type of stuff. You got to take the unpopular position sometimes in order to see the big benefit on the back end.
Now, we don't want to sound like old people, which we are older people, but you can't party all the time and not do some things that's going to put you in a better place in your future, because everybody wants the future and we all going to end up living one. We all going to end up in that, and you want to put yourself, you got to make some sacrifices for it. So that's all we're saying. We don't want to sound like old folks on here.
So Monique says, the man who wants me, he is willing to work these things out and stay when ish hit the fan. Okay. Ride for each other.
What is ish? Though it's just not. That's a blanket statement, Monique. Now I joke, we joke. I love you like a play cousin, but you know that is a blanket statement. What is ish? That could be anything. Cause okay, think about this. Some men are gonna be willing to put up with ish being like this. Other men not gonna be able to put up with ish like that. You know what I'm saying? And so when somebody come across and don't want to put up with that, now he wrong. Now you got a problem with that. Well, you must not be for me. Well, I must not be. I must not be then. Because you didn't say, when you say ish, you got to tell me what we're talking about. And a matter of fact, I need to know about the ish before we get into this. I'm just saying.
Jeffrey says, being that man with the qualities that were mentioned gets boring after a while. And a lot of guys get cheated on regardless of what they've done for their woman. With that being said, sometimes relationships need to end so that the participants can grow. I'm gonna have to say some prayers for Jeffrey. Jeffrey done been through some stuff, brother.
Yeah, but Jeffrey not lying.
He's not lying.
Women get bored. Who said? I was listening to somebody other day. I want to say it was Cardi or Nicki Minaj, which we're not taking love advice from either one of them.
Right.
Cardi's like, hey man, I want this straight lace dude. I want to do that. But every time I get him, I get bored with him. And that's the truth. I think more women get bored with their guys that don't have. Listen, everybody. I'm not. I just think everybody like a little. I have been told women people like a little drama, whether it's coming from the man or from the woman. And if the guy's straight laced, somebody ends up cheating. I ain't making this up, y'all. I am not making this up.
No. And when you really look at things, the opinion of this particular subject, it gets real deep. Like some men say, women don't care what men have to go through. They just want to wait at the finish line and see who wins. All right. Mika says, this conversation is so rich and could truly go over an hour. Women and men all struggle emotionally and express it differently. But as we get older, we find out those things we wanted in a partner have changed. And we want partners that are whole and willing
to change with us as we change.
Right. Put in the work. Willing to put in the work. So she has a point. Most of us don't really know what we want. It ain't until we get knocked upside the head a few times that we realize what we really want. But that's not stopping us on the front end of saying, oh, I want this, until you get it, then it ain't what you want. That's why stop taking advice from these 20-somethings. Stop taking relationship advice from these 20-somethings. All right. Monique says, anything that may arise is ish. You have to work through it. These conversations should be had early on in the relationship.
Okay, I will agree with you, Monique. I agree.
But how do you? That's where we talk about maturity. Who knows how to deal with these things? We can't assume that women automatically know how to deal with these things.
They don't.
Because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
We can't assume that men know how to deal with these things because it depends on where you come from, who really taught you how to, process these things. Concy says, if she gets bored and cheats, she is for the streets. And the streets. Concy says, same for the men. Listen. All right. So Winston says, stop taking advice from people who don't have good relationships. Absolutely. My thing is, in your 20s, you still trying to figure it out. I'm talking figure life out.
Yes.
I'm talking especially about relationships.
Yeah.
You still trying to figure it out. People in their 20s that's giving advice on relationships, pay them no mind. Don't pay them no attention. You need to look at somebody who you know has actually gone through some things and learned. And they telling you what's right. For a 20-some-year-old, if they ain't repeating what the older person said, no, you paying no attention. Don't pay no mind.
Is they probably need to have somebody that's co-signed that they co-signed for. Say, well, you know, I was talking to such and such,
Right?
and they were saying, because listen, man, and it's so crazy because every relationship, every person, everything is different, man. What may work for somebody else, man, I work for you. So it's just a matter of surrounding yourself with good people that's trying to help your relationship rather than tear it down.
So Abigail says, but how do you really know what ish is going to happen early on, though? Here's the thing about ish. You really devise a plan for how to deal with it. You don't know what type is going to actually come up, but you got to have ways that you handle conversations, difficult conversations, ways you handle emotions, and the whole nine. If you know you can't really talk when you're emotional, have an agreement with the person you with. Say, okay, I'll wait till you kind of calm down, then let's talk about it. You know, or something, but this has to be a conversation between you two so y'all can agree. Selena says you have to make up in your mind that no matter what ish presents, you're willing to do the work to work it out. You got to keep the focus in mind. The focus is the relationship.
Yes, you do. But you also have to figure out if this is what you really want. Make up your mind in early in the relationship whether or not you feel like this is worth fighting for. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with that person. And see, because that's what's wrong. We don't really think about whether or not it's worth fighting for. Because if it's not, get out, pull the string and get off the bus, and keep it moving. But if it is, as tough it is for me to agree, when ish comes, just work it out. But you got to decide whether or not that's gonna happen, or whether or not you can do that.
Wesley says, what if ish is constant cheating?
That ain't ish. That ain't ish. That's shit. There ain't no ish. That's foolishness and something that's gonna get somebody hurt. If that's the case, now the crazy thing about it, some people can put up with that. Most people can't. And when you see that coming, you got to keep that moving. Don't even play with that because somebody gonna get hurt. Don't even play with that.
If you can't keep it moving, that's not a problem with them. That's a problem with you. And you got to be willing to admit that. Abigail said, Wesley, if it's constant cheating, bruh, keep it moving.
Really?
Says, Wesley, leave.
Yeah.
Mika says, constantly keep moving at West. Wesley's laughing. Listen, don't be nobody doormat. Don't just lay that down for them.
Don't nobody cheat. Don't nobody make you run over you like women. I told y'all that. Y'all weren't listening.
Cheryl says you have to know what you're willing to deal with early in the relationship. Ask yourself what's the deal breaker, what the deal breaker is, and stick with it. We think we can handle it or change the way the person is. And it's typically after you have given yourself more than you should have. Now you can't think rationally.
Can't take it back now. Can't take it back.
Wesley says, I was just saying ish can be anything. There's levels of ish. There's levels of ish. Right? Yeah. If you having disagreements about how the bill should be paid, if you're having disagreements about what cleaning up the house looks like, or you know what I'm saying? You know,
ish is normally stuff like we trying to agree on how we're gonna raise the kids. And see, the crazy thing about that is that's the kind of stuff that don't get talked about at the beginning that ends up giving you hell in the marriage because it's not talked about. Because me and my wife, I just knew we was both church folk. We was going to have the ways we want to raise our kids, and we are completely different. I think it is completely different. So this is some of the stuff these are some of the issues that I'm talking about that get by us.
All right.
Wow.
It's up to final thoughts, man. So what you got for them?
All right. Okay, guys. So my final thoughts for tonight are, when you're trying to figure out in a relationship, I go back to this. Always present yourself in the best manner you want somebody else in. Man, it's really difficult because we have so many underlying issues that we don't know about. Because think about this, guys. Most people are crazy. I'm saying most people. I'm probably talking about you. So what you got to get yourself some help. Talk to some people so you can become a better person for somebody else. Don't you deserve the best? They do too. It's from your man. We'll see y'all next week.
Where it's all about self-care, what you do for yourself, and self seems to be the focus of most people these days. In the midst of you treating yourself, focusing on yourself, don't forget self-denial. Sometimes you have to deny yourself, especially if you plan on being in a relationship. It has to be about the other person. You have to learn how to serve other people, not serve yourself. Yeah, your mama set you up, or daddy set you up by only focusing on you and not teaching you how to focus on other people. But you have to learn how to figure other people into the equation. You got to learn how to see what other people are feeling and be concerned about somebody else. We live in a narcissistic society, and it seems to be getting worse. We have got to learn how to look after the next person. Relationships are not about independence. They're about interdependence. You want to be independent. You want to have something developed and have it together, but understand, but that's not the final goal. The final goal is, how do I take my developed piece and mesh it with somebody else's to make something greater? That's interdependence. That's the reality of relationships. It's not just about you. It's about us. You got to speak us, we, our. You got to learn how to speak in that language if you're going to deal with relationships. So in your self-care, don't get selfish. Learn how to deny self for the greater good of somebody else. And that's our King Speak for this week.
Boy, you did that.
Boy. I'm just
don't be selfish. That's good, man.
Mika says an hour doesn't go by this fast during the workday. Sheesh, great conversation once again. We appreciate you, Mika. We appreciate you, Anthony. He says good show. Listen, everybody, Monique, especially the ones we know who shows up. We appreciate all of y'all. Like we said, if you like the show, share it with your friends. Tell people about it. Like, share, subscribe. Also, go to our Man Talk Mondays 1@gmail email. Go there and just tell us how you enjoyed the show. Tell us something you like about something we're doing. We appreciate all the love. All the love. We really appreciate it. Anything else?
No, man. I'm going to echo what you're saying, man. We appreciate everybody. Let's get those letters in to Man Talk About It so we can talk about it. Because hey, all we're just trying to help and enlighten, man. And we appreciate you guys for allowing us to do it every week, man. And we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We love y'all. We'll see y'all back here next week. Right? 7 o'clock, Man Talk Mondays. Peace out. I'll holler at you.